Coffee is a great tool while fasting, but a lot of people do it wrong and it can really derail your progress. So today we're talking about how you can properly use coffee with intermittent fasting to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness goals. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance, and today's video is sponsored by LMNT. More on them in a bit. First, you need to know why you're actually fasting, because this will completely change what you can actually put in your coffee and what you shouldn't be putting in your coffee. Are you fasting for maximizing gut health or for autophagy purposes? If so, you're looking at a true fast. In fact, let me know in the comments below what your goal is with intermittent fasting. Personally, mine has always been improving gut health and increasing my energy levels. With a true fast, pretty much anything other than black coffee, unsweetened tea, water, and electrolytes will break your fast. When you don't eat, aka fast, this tells your GI tract to start flushing out food and bacteria that would normally cause bloating. And this is only turned on when you are not eating. And that's anything, including fats, collagen, protein, that small amount of sugar that you're adding into your coffee. All of those things that you might add into your coffee are going to stop that gut cleaning process and work against the gut health goal. In fact, some people with really serious SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, shouldn't really even be having coffee during the fast either, even if it's black coffee. There is some debate and speculation on this, but the caffeine could theoretically also slow down the gut cleaning process and then still work against the gut health goal. That's in really serious SIBO cases, which is kind of more common than you would think. There's this breath test that you can have your doctor run if you think that you might have SIBO. So for SIBO and really serious gut health concerns, you're looking at no coffee, just water, electrolytes. And from an autophagy perspective, which is that cellular cleanup, technically fat won't stop that. But if you are following a shorter intermittent fast, like 16, 20 hours per day. In other words, you're eating every single day, which is something that I recommend. I've done videos in the past on my thoughts on OMAD and longer fasts, but you can check those out in the description below. But if that's the case, if you are following a shorter intermittent fast, then you likely will still want to opt for more of a true fast if your main goal is autophagy. But then there's this issue of sweeteners, and this is where I think it can get a little murky and a lot of people have confusion around it. Any type of real sugar, I'm talking about like cane sugar, honey, maple syrup, all of those will spike insulin and will break a fast no matter what your goal is. But what about those like non-nutritive, zero-calorie sweeteners? Pretty much all artificial sweeteners, so think things like Splenda, aspartame, either stimulate insulin or stimulate digestion, both of which are a problem whether your goal is autophagy or gut cleaning. So you'll definitely want to stay clear of any of those artificial sweeteners. Then there's the sugar alcohols like xylitol and erythritol. You can pretty much always find these sugar alcohols on the label. If you look at the back, you look at the ingredients, and if the ingredient ends in OL, likely it's a sugar alcohol. Now, some of those more popular ones like erythritol and xylitol could theoretically be used in smaller amounts and not stop autophagy. But, and this is a big but, there is a very high likelihood with pretty much all sugar alcohols that it could cause bloating or gut distress. So for that reason, I just really never recommend sugar alcohols, because otherwise you're just totally missing out on those gut health benefits, regardless of if that's your main goal or not. And then there's those natural sweeteners like monk fruit and stevia. Now, these are the better options if you are looking to add a little bit of sweetness to your coffee. Just make sure that you're not making it overly sweet. I have seen that that could cause increased sugar cravings later in the day. And make sure that you're checking the ingredients of the monk fruit and stevia. Oftentimes they're cut with things like maltodextrin or sugar alcohols, or even just plain old sugar. I have seen that too. Now, before we dive into the other method of fasting, I want to give a huge thanks to today's sponsor, LMNT. LMNT is an electrolyte company that was actually developed with fasting in mind. It has the sodium, the magnesium, and potassium to help replace lost electrolytes while fasting. And without replacing these, it's really common to experience things like headaches because of those lost electrolytes during the intermittent fast. I personally like using the unflavored LMNT during my fast. I'll usually have this one like after my workout, especially if it's been particularly sweaty. And then I'll have the flavored options during my eating window. Lately, I've been really liking the mango chili and the lemon habanero, but also the orange salt is a classic. And right now, LMNT is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serve packets free with any LMNT order. It's a really great way to test out all 8 flavors. So you can get yours at drinklmnt.com/autumn. This is only available through my link. So make sure you check out drinklmnt.com/autumn. Now, if you're looking at a weight loss or just a general gut health goal without having something like SIBO, this is where you're looking at some flexibility with the fast. And here we have fasting mimicking. So regardless of if you're using fasting mimicking or not, you will still always have some level of a true fast, like after you finish your last meal, while you sleep, and then the morning time before you actually have your coffee with any other ingredients. So it's really just like the last few hours we're looking at this fasting mimicking approach, but you do have more flexibility because with these goals, we're typically looking at not raising the storing hormone insulin. So especially from a weight loss perspective, this is one of the main perks of intermittent fasting is that you're eating less frequently, and so therefore you aren't spiking that storing hormone insulin as often. This means more time spent in that state of fat burning, which is great because from a weight loss perspective, you want to be burning fat. You don't want to be burning things like muscle. And you can achieve this lower insulin response one of two ways. One is with that true fast, or the other is with fasting mimicking, which if you guys are liking this video so far, give it a thumbs up. Really helps support my channel and helps me to make more free content just like this for you guys. And during that fasting mimicking approach, the only things that you'd be adding into your coffee are those that are pure fat, because fat does not spike insulin. So you're still going to be in that fat burning state. Although you will be using some of that fat from your food, your body will also be using some of the fat from your internal fat stores as well. Now, protein and carbs, on the other hand, do spike insulin, with carbohydrates having the biggest response. So those are things that you would not want to have during your fast. Otherwise, it would spike insulin and therefore break a fast, which is why something like sugar, which is pure carbohydrate, will break a fast. And what's great about adding in a little bit of pure fat to your coffee, especially if you're a beginner to intermittent fasting, is that it does help to slightly raise the satiety hormone CCK, or cholecystokinin. So if you find that you struggle with hunger in the beginning part of your intermittent fast, or at least when you first start intermittent fasting, this can help kind of bridge that gap and get your body a bit more metabolically flexible and able to easily get through that fast. But there are a lot of things that I've seen people add into their coffee thinking that they're doing this fasting mimicking approach, but it's actually completely breaking their fast. The first biggest one is collagen. Now, I love collagen. I think it's fantastic, has a lot of great health benefits, but it is still a protein, although not a complete protein, so it still will spike insulin and still will break a fast. So if you do like having, whether it be protein powder, bone broth protein, or collagen in your coffee, just keep that to your eating window. And then there's coffee creamers. So this could be a whole spectrum of coffee creamers. I did do a video on like the top 10 best and worst coffee creamers. If you guys want to check that out, I'll have that link down in the description below. But typical coffee creamers will have either sugar or artificial sweeteners. So obviously the sugar has carbs, will break a fast, but those artificial sweeteners still could raise insulin even though it's not actually true sugar. So you'll want to stay clear of those. There are some exceptions, but check out that video for more details. And then sugar, which might seem like the obvious one, but I do get a lot of people in my YouTube comments who will ask if adding like a little bit of honey or a little bit of cane sugar or a little bit of sweetened condensed milk will break a fast. Yes, it does. If you see on any type of nutrition facts that it has either carbs or protein in it, then it will break a fast. I like to go by the 1 gram rule, and this is not a hard set and fast rule. It's just a good guideline, a more conservative guideline to make sure that we're erring on the side of actually helping you achieve your goals with intermittent fasting. But basically the 1 gram rule is where you make sure that whatever you're adding into your coffee doesn't add up to more than 1 gram of protein and carbs combined. So here's how it works. Like you can see the unsweetened almond milk at a half cup has 0.5 grams of protein and 1.3 grams of carbs. So using this much almond milk will theoretically break a fast, but the amount really matters. If you drop that 1/2 cup down to 1/4 cup, you can see that this has 0.2 grams of protein and only 0.7 grams of carbs. So adds up to 0.9 total grams, which will be under that 1 gram rule. And everyone's tolerance of how much protein or how much carb that they eat will actually raise insulin, but I like to be on more of the conservative side. I'd rather you be more sure that it's not going to break your fast than towing the line and not actually getting the benefits. So the things that you actually can have some flexibility with are going to be those pure fats. And the common ones you can use in your coffee, or at least the ones that will actually be enjoyable, are things like heavy cream or half and half. So for this, to make sure it doesn't break that 1 gram rule, you want to stick to about 1 tablespoon. And then there's unsweetened nut milks. So staying around 1/4 cup should keep you in the clear, but keep in mind this is for nut and seed milks, not oat milk. Oat milk is very high in starches and will break a fast. And then coconut cream is another great option, especially if you're plant-based. And for this one, you'll want a little less than 1 tablespoon. There's also the classic keto coffee where you use a combination of butter and coconut oil. I'll also have my recipe for that linked down in the description below. Now, if you want a full breakdown of literally everything that you can actually have in your coffee that won't break a fast, you can check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right guys, thanks so much for tuning in and I'll see you in my next video.